Dog Pounded is a 1954 Warner Brothers cartoon. This is directed by Fritz Freleng and written by Warren Foster. And we have, of course, Mel Blanc voicing Sylvester and Tweety. And I have to say, the narrative for this is very, very similar to Ain't She Tweet, which was a few years before this one. In that one, Granny has a load of dogs in her garden, and Sylvester has to try and get Tweety while manoeuvring around these dogs. This is very similar insofar as Tweety is hanging around a dog pound, and Sylvester has to try and manoeuvre around these dogs to try and get Tweety, so it's very, very similar. But there are subtle differences, of course. And I want to say, first of all, I love the soundtrack. It incorporates various instrumentals and also vocals as well, with Tweety singing some songs, of course. We have Moonlight Bay, which is one that I love and one that quite frequently features in Warner Brothers cartoons, as she was an acrobat's daughter, both of which I love. But the soundtrack aside, the narrative's relatively interesting, if predictable. Sylvester does have a few tricks up his sleeve to try and get one over on the dogs. One of them involving hypnotism. I won't say too much about that, but I think it unfolded quite well. Visually, it was very effectively done, but I think the thing that I enjoyed the most was the swing. I enjoyed the movements of the swing. I enjoyed watching the motions of it and watching the dogs kind of popping up above the fence whenever the swing was in view. And ultimately, I love the fact that Tweety was just on the sidelines, just sitting there thinking, yeah, alright then, this is happening. So that was quite interesting. But there wasn't really anything else about it that stood out as being particularly fascinating, apart from what happened at the end. I don't want to discuss the ending, but Sylvester tries one more thing, and it brings in a surprise guest. Another character comes into it I hadn't expected, and it definitely separates it from Ain't She Tweet. So I won't say any more than that about that character. I don't want to ruin it. But certainly it was a nice surprise and something I hadn't predicted. So Dog Pounded, it's such an interesting title as well. It's not my favourite, although the soundtrack was pretty great. Tweety was as adorable as always. Definitely not bad, but I think it's just a little bit too similar to Ain't She Tweet for my liking.